What was if you were to give an off-season or training camp kind of hero, who's the person that stepped up the most this off-season? Maybe someone you didn't see it coming from, or someone you were expecting it from, someone that's kind of been catching your eye this summer?
I'm going to say everyone. Everyone's done their part. From the rookies to our 2 stars and everyone in between has done everything that we've asked them to do. If it's to come back and see guys in August, everybody came back, everybody's put in the work. So to answer your question, truthfully, it's everyone. The spirit, you can see while you guys are in there. You can feel it, you can see it. It's at a very high level right now, and so hopefully we can bottle that up.
We've seen Lively and Omax kind of running with that first group. What did they show you in the offseason that gave you the confidence to put them out there with a first group of guys?
Yeah, I think for both those guys, they've done the work. But in the past, I've done this with all the rookies. With Josh Green, we did this when I first got here, is to make sure he played with the first group just to see what he can do. We tend to put the young guys with the stars to see how they handle the situation. And so for those 2, they've done a really good job so far. But again, they've done the work, since we've had them in July and August. So let's see how they handle playing with Luka and Kai and Grant.
You touched on this yesterday a little bit, but I just wonder, how much more confidence do you have in the roster around Luka and Kyrie when that appeared to be a bit of an issue last season?
Yeah, I think the confidence is high. In this building, there's, the energy is high. Everybody's excited. Everybody's a winner right now. No one's talking about, the minutes that they're not playing or the shots that they're not getting. So everybody's in a good mood. But when you look at what Nico has done in this offseason of being able to get athletic and younger and putting the right pieces around Luka and Kai, he's done that.
Jason, with regards to seeing spirit, it's pretty easy to see that when you watch Grant in practice or just about anywhere, right? Can you talk a little bit more about his fit here and also the opportunity here for him to really take another step as a key player in this league?
Yeah, I think we're lucky to have Grant, to have that voice. He's a winner. You can see that on the floor. He's going to talk. He's going to probably love to talk to you guys. But his voice is important. It's something that we haven't had. And so for him to, player to player, to coach, has always been successful in this league. And guys on our roster respect what he's done early in his career. And so, again, we're very lucky to have him.
You've been through it as a player, Jason, midseason trade, getting incorporated with a new team. How much difference does it make to start that process at the beginning, training camp, preseason, versus trying to do it midseason?
Yeah, it's hard. The trade is great when you get, a player like Kai, and yes, we all wanted to work day one, but I think sometimes you just have to be patient and go through the process, and we went through that, with the games that we played with both those guys last year, but this year to be able to start in training camp, I think the trip is going to actually help us because it's just us for the next 12 days, in Abu Dhabi and in Madrid, so these are things that will make your team better, become closer. And again, as I talked about, they do have a relationship. They both want to win, and we can learn from last year and again put ourselves in a position to be successful. But it doesn't come from just those 2. It's the pieces around them who will help them be the best players in the world.
Hey, Jason. Curious what, and you just addressed a little bit of this, but what success and productivity looks like for you from now until October the 25th? Is it system installation? Is it evaluating, as you said, looking at rookies and how they play with each other? Is it building chemistry, camaraderie, et cetera? There's a lot on your plate, so what are the goals to be in the best position you can be in that you want to accomplish between now and October 25th?
Well, I think the biggest one is health. We want to be healthy going into the 25th. Just understanding there are a lot of boxes to check here. But we're getting those done. You look at the young kids playing with the stars and how they, understand how to play with those guys. And then the big thing is just different combinations that we got to get through. This preseason is a little different. Not as many games. We're abroad. And so we got to figure out how to get, all these pieces together and see how they look in different situations with scrimmages and in the preseason games that we do have. But the big thing is health. Offensively, we feel we'll be one of the best in the league. We have not just Luka and Kai, but the big question is how can we play without those two? We weren't very good last year. I think we were 1-10. And so if we can turn that to be 10-1, and that means we got a really good team. And we believe the group, and we've talked about this as a group, that we can't just rely on Luka and Kai to bail us out. It's got to be a team effort, and guys got to carry their weight. And that group in there, in that locker room, believes that they can win without those two.
Just a quick follow-up. You mentioned that there's a limited number of games. As you know from your career, sometimes players are different in practice than they are in games. So how do you find the way to carve out enough appropriate time to evaluate people at the highest level of competition that you can evaluate them between now and then?
Make them uncomfortable. Yeah, I think that's, we got to try to make them uncomfortable and see how they respond. And it's not in a negative way or a bad way, because you bring up a very good point. These lights in this gym might be a little dimmer than the ones at ACC or on the road. So we got to put guys in situations to see how they handle being uncomfortable.
Coach, Jayden Hardy was an emphasis of the Summer League team, and he had a lot of experience to run like high pick and rolls and have the ball in his hands. What have you seen from him so far in training camp and since that period? Yeah,
I think just feeling his way. We've only gone through 3 practices. He's done a great job up to this point. We've put him in situations of running the offense still. As you brought up this summer, we wanted to see how he handled that. He had an incredible season for us last year, and again, I think with the talent around him, he's just going to get better. Again, player to player, tends to rub a little bit better in the sense of pushing each other. There's great competition. We're deep in a lot of positions, so I think this is a great situation for Hardy to be in. But I think he's going to thrive, especially we all know he can score the ball. So now it's can he get us in the offense and run and get us in position to execute.
Jason, Kyrie mentioned that when he was a kid that you was his hero when you playing for the New Jersey Nets. What was that like for you at that time, and at what point did you find out that you was his hero, and do you feel like he's playing extra hard because he don't want to let you down?
Well, Dwayne, you're telling me all this new information, so I'm finding out now. No. Playing in Jersey, I got to meet Kai. Kai came to the Hall of Fame celebration, and so we do have a relationship that's not just about basketball, but off the floor too. So he's as good as they come on and off the floor, and we're very lucky to have him here. The things I was joking with Jelly about just his ability to finish any layup you want, left or right, his creativity, his imagination, for some of these younger players to be able to be educated, to be able to learn from, because he can do it at a high level. And so his presence here is big, and we need that because, as I mentioned, it's not just leaning on Luka to bail us out or Kai. They want their teammates to carry their load too, and I think that's what's going to make us a championship team.
As a point guard, a former point guard, and obviously a coach now, what's your takeaway from the Lillard trade, and what that does in terms of the reclustering of stars around the league, and let's just go with where you feel like your 2 stars measure up against
Yeah.
other clusters?
I think it's great. I don't know if I can comment on the trade if it's official, but it's great. It's great for the league. It's great for both teams, Milwaukee and Portland. Portland now can move forward with their build. Chauncey can focus on the young team. And then Milwaukee, they're not short on stars. They have a tall one and a short one, so they're good.
Where do you think your two stars measure up?
Oh, at the top. Why wouldn't they? The best scoring combo in the league. So if we're thinking offense, we're at the top. Defense, we'll take number 2 or number 3. We don't need the number 1 spot.
Today, it looked like you guys were working on a lot of variations out of handoff actions. What do you like about your personnel in those types of situations as you add to your offense?
Yeah, Scooter told me you guys were coming in, so we just made that up on the fly, so you guys can sit there and talk about it. We're not going to do any of that shit during the season. I'm just joking. No, we're just working on different things. Just understanding playing. Without the dribble, we're going to see a lot of double teams and switches. So we're trying to get those boxes checked so that guys know how to respond. It's not just the guy who's going to get the ball, but the guy who's going to DHO and being able to roll. And again, in this league, passing is underrated, and so we're working on trying to be able to connect the dots. Thanks.